Next panel, we're going to be hearing from our PAG, which is the Partner Advocacy Group. So it'll be facilitated by Pascal, and then we have usual Sam and Jason on our panel here. So I'll hand it over to them to take it away.
Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you. Woo. Thanks a lot for the invitation to address the partner community. My name is Pascal. And in a while, I'm going to actually hand over to my colleagues on the advocacy group, and I'll get them to introduce themselves in a moment. But essentially, what I've been asked to do is to address the partners here, to explain to you what the advocacy group is, if you're not aware, and what it is that we do. So, first of all of us on the PAG, or the Partner Advocacy Group, are volunteers from within the CMMI community. So I think it was last year, we went through an election process, we nominated, and then people from within the community voted for us. Thank you for those of you who did vote for us. We really appreciate your vote of support, and we're humbled to be able to actually represent your interests with interacting with ISACA. So what it is that we do, we basically represent the collective voice of the CMMI community, and there's a caveat to that, of course, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a couple of slides' time. What we do within the PAG is to identify and review with ISACA current and emerging issues, and we're going to show you some examples of some of the topics that we've been discussing with ISACA. And the other thing is we are essentially the community input to ISACA. So individuals from within the partner community, professionals from within the partner community, so you don't have to go necessarily through your partner. Individuals can actually come to us and say, hey, look, we're concerned about this, or we've seen these trends. Could you please talk to ISACA about this on our behalf? So basically, we do that for you. And the other thing that we also do, we like to be the sounding board for ISACA. So basically, if ISACA is thinking of doing something and is saying, well, look, how do you think the community is going to respond to that? And how do you think the community would receive it? They'll often come to us and say, look, we're thinking of doing this. Can you give us your feedback? And often our feedback is by going back to people from within the community, talking to you, and then presenting a unified voice. Now, some examples of things that we have actually done with ISACA. Now, bear in mind that some of these are still work in progress. It's not like we've actually resolved all of these issues. But obviously, the second bullet point is one that I think is near and dear to a lot of people's heart, which is what's happening in the market right now. The market is, in some cases, in a state of flux, in a state of transition, in a state of contraction, but there's also potential market opportunities. In PAG Mark 1, which happened, I think, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, there was the first inaugural advocacy group that was created, and it had different membership. Sam Gao was on PAG Mark 1, so was Pat O'Toole. Pat recently decided that he wanted a reduced workload, and so has actually resigned from the current PAG. So we've actually had from PAG Mark 1, I guess one of the things that happened when ISACA was introducing new fees, they actually obtained feedback from the PAG, and the PAG was able to provide feedback from the community in terms of the impact that those fees would have on the business operating model of a lot of the partners. And as a consequence, that was refined and elaborated to what we have today. The market factors, not only do we talk about China, which obviously is a significant market, we're also talking about other markets. We're talking about, okay, what do we do outside of China to reinvigorate life in the CMMI in markets where previously CMMI was quite dominant and now not so. We're also talking about new market growth opportunities. And I'm actually quite happy to say that this is not just a 5 or a 10-minute conversation, right? And Simona, we had a series of meetings, and in principle we meet once a month, With the market issue, we actually met sequentially over 3 weeks because we thought it was such a big, important topic. And we actually had people like Simona, we had Roman, we had Ron, but we also had Eric in those meetings, and we were talking about, okay, what does this mean and what are we going to do about it collectively as ISACA and the community? We've also talked about some things that we know are affecting us. Those of us who are certified professionals, I think all of us here except for UGEL are lead appraisers, we're instructors. UGEL is a business point of contact for Leamark. We know that there are things that are affecting us and affecting you, such as, for instance, the impact of consultants. You know, when consultants go and reach a client and provide them with a particular direction and advice on the solution, and then we come along as lead appraisers and appraise that, we know that that is causing issues. So we were talking about consultants, and we've actually had discussions with ISACA about perhaps getting them on the certification path. We also know that there are business brokers out there. Now, that's something that I think Jason highlighted to us, that there are these people who are brokering their services and in some cases on selling appraisals, and we know that that's having an impact in terms of the quality of the appraisals and what lead appraisers are facing. We know that some of you have actually had issues, the user experiences with PSI. Now, we actually highlighted that and escalated it to ISACA and said, look, we need to resolve this issue because ultimately it's affecting users' experience. And of course, also recently we've been talking about business opportunities for MDAP and seeing how we could actually grow the capacity that ISACA have and be able to reach more medical device manufacturers. So we've been talking about those things with ISACA. So, how do we operate? Firstly, we have a charter. That charter governs our operations, the way that we come together. Essentially what we do, we meet on a monthly basis. We try to meet a week to 2 weeks within the PAG to talk about current and emerging topics. We vote on them in accordance with the charter. If the majority of us think that that topic is something that we need to highlight to ISACA, we will then bring that forward to something called the IPAG, which is basically ISACA plus the partner advocacy group. And so that would happen a week later, or in some cases 2 weeks later. And the other thing is that the PAG chair is a rotating one. So currently, UGEL, put your hand up, is the current chair. Prior to UGEL, I was actually chairing the meetings, and then before myself, it was Pat O'Toole on the current PAG. So basically, the way that we work is we try to be as collegiate as possible. We try to meet with each other as much as possible. And you're going to see in a moment a list of the PAG members and our contact details. So let's talk about communications, the way that you can communicate with us. We do actually have a partner advocacy group that was created by the first PAG. Admittedly, unfortunately, we're not as active in looking at it, but I think we're going to take the action on ourselves now that we do know the email address and the password for it, for one of us to take responsibility to actually check this email. My thing is, we're all going to share our email addresses on the next slide. You'll have access to these slides. Feel free to reach out to us if you've got an issue that you'd like us to discuss within the PAG and then escalate to ISACA. Now, the way that we reach the community is we do have a Facebook page, a CMMI Facebook page. So often what will happen is things that are being discussed in the PAG that might be of significance to the community, we are trying to put that out on the Facebook page. I understand that also Pat O'Toole still has his water cooler sessions, and he does those with Brian, and so ultimately we're actually bringing out communication that way. One of the things that I think we need to talk about is there a potentially additional mechanism for us to communicate, for the PAG to communicate with the community? So we'll talk to ISACA about that. One disclaimer with regard to us being the voice of the community is that we're not intending to replace your individual communication with ISACA. So your partner or you as an individual should still reach out to ISACA if you need to for your individual needs. We're not trying to discourage that. Rather, what we're talking about is if there are things that are affecting the community as a whole, if there are things that the community as a whole are identifying as individual partners, this is our opportunity for us to aggregate that and bring it forward to ISACA. We do have access to ISACA leadership in those monthly meetings. I want to thank personally Simona, Ron, Roman, Steve, for attending the PAGs on a monthly basis, and of course Eric does attend them as his calendar permits as well. So really ultimately that's what we do, but that doesn't stop you from actually reaching out to ISACA and talking to them about customer experience, to talk to them about financial matters, to talk to them about account management or technical issues such as quality. Okay, so the PAG membership, when you voted for us, it was a total of 9 representatives. There were 3 originally for the United States, and I think North America, I should say, 3 for China and 3 for the rest of the world. And you can kind of see there's only 8 names there, as I'd mentioned a couple of minutes ago. Pat is slowly inching his way to retirement, his words, not mine, and he decided that he actually wanted to spend more time with his family, and so he said, look, I'm not going to continue my work on the PAG. We discussed it internally, and we thought, okay, this kind of happened before. I think, Phil, you were on PAG Mark 1, and you said that you needed to kind of take a step away from that. And so there was a decision to do what we did with PAG Mark 1 and not necessarily go for re-election because we thought that would be too disruptive. We thought, you know what, we'll just try to see if we can operate with 8 members. So right now we still have Brian, who is not here with us today, Ujel, at the very end, who's representing the US. We've got Sam Gao, who is present with us today. And Kerry and Jason. Jason is also present with us today. They represent China. And then we have Kiran, and Gabby, who represent the rest of the world, and myself as well. And those are our contact details. We've all agreed that we're happy for you to have those. Feel free to reach out to us as well as that Gmail account. Now, what I thought I'd do, rather than talk for 30 minutes, is to hand over to Sam, Jason, and Ujel, and just get them to spend 1 or 2 minutes each to tell you, okay, why did they join the PAG, who they are, and what it is that they're doing on the PAG. And then after that, I'd like to actually open it to questions and answers and basically have a conversation with the people that we're meant to be representing, which is yourselves. Okay. So we'll start off with Sam.
Okay, thank you, Pascal. I can stay here. Okay, yeah, it's a great honor, and really is many thanks to the community for your support. Actually, this year is my 2nd term. Actually, we all seen this year. You know, actually, this year really, I think it's a test us, everyone. I mean, the partners. Because many things changed. Is many things we have assumed in the past somehow is not there, and but we've been as a partner. I've been through that, and I'm really happy. Is we are still here. You see, everyone we still committed come here to improving. So that's really proven we are really adopting community. So I'm really happy to see everyone here, and but you know, actually the CMMI has been through many phases. I have been in CMMI for 25 years, so we have been through the tough time before. So right now is we've seen the CMMI 3.1, you know, the AI thing. I think I for myself, I really I feel we have a few future there. You know, the resilience, actually, we're still going, is not really, how to say that, is, I think it's only one thing. You know, CMMI is like a good product, is really a seed, I can see. So if you want to grow this seed to, you know, the really big tree, we have to do a lot of work. We need the water, we need, you know, the soil, we need care. Sometimes we have to trim, you know, what no longer fits. So so it's a hard work. I think everyone here is also. I'm one of you. I really wanted to devote more in the future to help, you know, grow this tree. So today is really happy, you know, here with the colleague here, with the PAG member here, and I just want maybe a simple, you know, call to action. You know, we continue to share, collaborate, and advocate. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Sam. If I could get you to hand over the mic to Jason now. Thank you, Jason.
Hello. Okay. I'm Jason from China. Why I want to be the PAG member? Actually, I attended the previous vote in the previous several round, and I like the CMMI business because for my whole career, the software development plus the CMMI, this is my whole career life for the last 23 years. So I did the CMMI business in China almost more than 20 years, and I want to make this business. I mean, in China, in the special areas where the most CMMI appraisals happens place. I want to collect all the information. I share all the first-hand information from this area, and what we are doing good and what we are doing bad. And I want to share this information with all the senior managers from ISACA. And also, I want to share all the newest information from the industry to my friends, to my colleagues in China, and they can know the CMMI development better in this country. I'm happy to be selected as the PAG members for this round, and I want to contribute as what I can do for the CMMI business in China. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jason. Now, one of the things that happened with this PAG, which is really different from the last one we basically had all certified professionals such as lead appraisers, instructors. On this one, we actually had Yujil get voted. Now, he's actually a business point of contact for Landmark. He's not a lead appraiser or an instructor. So this is actually different for us, is that we've actually got someone on the business side of the PAG. Yujil.
Yeah, my name is Yujil Tipikoy, and as Pascal indicated, I'm a business point of contact, and I've been in the CMMI business for 20 years right now. And my reason for joining the PAG was actually to, give feedback to ISACA directly on my point of view on how, we should be opening new markets and bring those ideas to the PAG and vote for them, and then, talk to them in our ISACA PAG monthly meetings. Other than that, I mean, Pascal, you explained all of what we do actually in the PAG, our process, and some of the topics which we touched into. Thank you.